Hello, everyone. Yes, it's me again. Come across something in. All right, it's been a part of my life as well. Uh, I find it interesting on how, when it comes to relationships, one finds often that one part of the relationship seems to be sane, functional, knows about what right and wrong is, and takes responsibility for many different things. Doesn't make a person perfect, yes, but where often a person puts their own self in the background to make sure that what one has taken responsibility for stays grounded, keeps rolling, yes, and functions properly. Then there is the other part of the relationship, the other person, that seems to think that being crazy, uh, finding any kind of excuse to be crazy, to do whatever they want, and leave the one responsible kind of in the dust with whatever responsibilities there are, seems to be, that needs to be recognized. That seems to be something to accept. I just came across a few, yes, in my real life, examples here on how what we're the responsible ones. Guess what? We're the ones for peace. We're the ones for reconciliation. We're the ones who are willing to change. We're the ones that, okay, let's figure this out. Whereas the crazy ones, that's all I can call them, just crazy, will use that to their advantage to do what? No changes. Continue to be who you are. Want to be in this life, even though you've made choices that require you to change. I find it interesting too on how crafty these crazy people are, and in how they try then to persuade the other person, calling them the good people, the people with a conscience and responsibility, that they're willing to do the best that they can do for, put themselves, their own ideas, their own way of how they would want to, if you were by yourself, but you're not anymore. So you're married and you have children. You have a household to take care of. You need to go out there and bring the money in to keep things rolling, this and that. Just saying. On how they're being manipulated due to the fact that they are what? Good people. People who are willing to do the best that they can with what they decided to take on. And how these crazy, your crazy partner, your crazy wife, your crazy husband, tries then to make sure that you're the one who also has to make the choice of what? Enough is enough. This is not going to change. What am I actually agreeing to here? Yeah. I find that really sad because saw that in my own life, where I had to deal with duplicity in many different areas. And on how I either accepted it, or if I voiced myself or tried to do anything to restore it, this or that, I was shut down and ridiculed, and then very conveniently made into being the problem. And on how then the crazy ones could continue to just be crazy. I don't. I had to make a change. That was very difficult, but I did. And it's an ongoing restoration thing. And I see it in two different households, very close to not to my heart, but just, okay, happen to be a part of it, kind of unwillingly, where, again, the responsible parties are trying to figure out, so what next? And it's so sad that once the crazy ones, again, get away with what they actually wanted to begin with, that the ones who are responsible have to take on even more responsibility. Yes? The other thing, too, if you're not sure who you are, if suddenly your livelihood, the livelihood of your children with the crazy one, are being threatened by the crazy one, and there is no consideration on what life will look like once the crazy one gets his freedom, and they start making these threats where the children are involved, you know you are the good one. Just want to say that. Stick with that. Yes? I think that people who have their conscience and their heart to mind in the right place, going back to the point of origin, which is our Heavenly Parent, then you have to just go with that, because to begin with, we made a bad choice by partnering with someone who's just downright crazy. And yeah, it's an excuse to be crazy. Yes? Would it help if we would speak out more and like I'm doing right now, and saying, stop being crazy. Stop doing that. And go on from there? I don't know. But the excuses stand. So many supposed diseases out there that, the person can't help themselves. Yeah, right. I'm not going for that anymore. Done. So, I give up my advice where I can. My main thing is always to not just divide people, but to encourage the ones that I know are doing the right thing. Keep doing the right thing. Not according to what the crazy person wants. According to what the right thing is for you, your family, your surroundings, to keep going. To keep doing what you know full well is the right thing to do. And if that excludes the crazy one, so be it. All right, having said that. Against Egypt, we're in the book of Isaiah 19. Proclamation about Egypt. Look, Yahweh, riding a swift cloud is coming to Egypt. The false gods of Egypt totter before him, and Egypt's heart quails within her. Okay. May I read this one more time, because it goes very well with what I just said before. The false gods of Egypt totter before him, and Egypt's heart quails within her. Okay, first of all, why is Egypt considered a her? Is it female? Is there any country out there that's male or female? Hello? But the one thing that gets me, the false gods. The false gods of Egypt totter before him. The false gods don't care because they don't exist. Oh! The crazies in some people don't exist either. It's just a selfish way of getting what they want. Adults with children's temper tantrums. They've never grown past what? The age of 1.5 to 2 years old? Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Well, then let's treat them that way. Yes? Which would require what? Time out. Think about what you said and did. Da-da-da-da-da. Eat your vegetables. just saying. Yes? How does this start out? Already with something I have to say, what? Are you crazy? What does that even, that doesn't even mean anything. If it doesn't exist, how can it mean anything? How would false gods totter in God's presence? They don't exist. They're not there. They can't feel anything. It's not like power is taken away from them. They're just objects. Dead. Never been alive. I'm just saying. Weird. I shall stir up Egypt against Egypt. They will fight one another, brother against brother, friend against friend, city against city. That's what God does. That's what God wants. Well, Israel was very good at that too, weren't they? Oh, but here it's just Egypt. As far as I know, the land of Egypt still exists. Not only that, but boy, a lot of people want to go and see them pyramids. Egypt has an amazing history. Didn't get erased. Didn't get annihilated. Plenty of Egyptians still here with us. I'm just saying. Yes? Why lay something like that at the feet of God as if? It's all fake. All of this is false. Just saying. And why is it in here like this? Some crazy, unhappy people, again, with their selfish agendas, want to believe, make us believe what? Kingdom against kingdom. Egypt's spirit will fail within her. Her, again, what? Within it. Call it within it. Her. Why is it addressed as a female thing? I don't get that either. Where are the genitals? In a city. Just asking. Gender defined by female and male depends on what exactly? And I shall confound her deliberations. They will consult false gods and wizards, ghosts and sorcerers. And I shall hand Egypt over to the clutches of a cruel master. A ruthless king will rule them, declares Yahweh Sabaoth. Okay. The waters will ebb from the sea, the river will dry up and run low, the streams will become foul, the rivers of Egypt sink and dry up, rush and reed will turn black, the Nile plants on the banks of the Nile, all the vegetation of the Nile will wither, blow away, and be no more. The fishermen will groan, it will be mourning for all who cast hook in the Nile. Those who spread nets on the waters will lose heart. You know what that reminds me of? Again, why would you believe someone who comes and tells you all this bad stuff is going to happen sometime down the line? It's not happening now, but it will, because... And then you believe them like you're an idiot. What is this? We would call this gaslighting today, isn't it? Gaslighting. Yes, false news. Oh, how much of that exists today? People so easily taken in by someone saying something that didn't happen, isn't happening, and will never happen. And people go for it. The end of times. Oh yeah, remember 1999? Yeah, I was alive during that time. Had children, this, that. When it's, the whole computer thing, that's probably not going to work, so people better get ready. Yeah. I was one of those too. I'm going, well, better be safe than sorry. Went out and spent, okay, not as much as others. I remember to this day, $600 on canned foods and water and this and that. I don't know, because I lived in a city at the time. And had it all stored just in case, to make it pass until they would figure out whatever error there was, and made all kinds of disruptions, where then our livelihood would be at stake. Guess what? 1999. New Year's Eve came, New Year's Day came, year 2000, and nothing happened. Whoops. Boy, were we had. Yes? Well, I got all things that it wasn't a big time. Over time, it could be used up, and it was all stuff that, I'm just saying, didn't have to go food shopping for a long time. Wait. From 2000. So, we were wrong about the 1999 to 2000. It's from 2000 to 2001 where the problem will be. And I said, you had me once, you're not going to have me twice. Guess what? 2000 ended, 2001 began, no problem again. But the hullabaloo out there was unbelievable. Sounds like hullabaloo to me here too. How often have we been told the end of times? Oh, wait, did you know the 1999 thing was foretold by Nostradamus? Sorry, buddy. All right. Whatever. The workers of cared flax and the weavers of white cloth will be confounded. They were afterwards when nothing happened. The weavers dismayed, all the workmen dejected. Yes, the princes of Zoan are fools. Pharaoh's wisest counselors make up a stupid council. Oh, hey, reminds me, at that time, if you guys have kind of followed me through all this here in the Old Testament, has anything changed when it comes to the foolishness of our government? The foolishness that some kings and queens out there are expecting us to follow? I'm just asking. Well, I kind of abdicated that foolishness a long time ago. Because I decided that my guide is no one but Heavenly Parent. And if I find someone here on earth that I feel has greater knowledge of that guidance, I would listen. Still discern, but I would listen. Yes? I guess that's why I'm not so easily duped into certain other things like weirdo math. How dare you say to Pharaoh, I am descended from sages, I am descended from bygone kings. Where are these sages of yours? Let them tell you so that all may know the plans Yahweh Sabaoth has made against Egypt. God has never made plans against any place in this world. You do not create something, then go against it. You do not create a child in the womb, made it out of the womb or whatever, and then go against it. You do that, you're crazy. You're one of the crazies. And you need to know that. To go against your own creation is crazy. So, Isaiah here, with his prophecies, he wants to tell me that God's crazy. Okay, am I going to believe that just because it's here in the Bible? Well, how about not? How about we say no? Dare to say no. And then we start to restore. Right, Isaiah? Because, yeah, I know you're right. Let's continue on. It needs to be told. It needs to be out there in order for restoration to happen, rather than just continue on a path of excuses and a bunch of nonsense. Okay. The princes of Zoan are fools, the princes of Noph self-deceivers. The top men of her provinces have led Egypt astray. Yahweh has infused them with a giddy spirit. Why would Yahweh... So now they're saying as well, well, God gave them this weird, crazy idea. How how are the Israel, the prophets here in the Bible, in the Old Testament of Israel, looking at their guide, God, the one? That is just, that's blasphemy right here. And people just so easily accept that. Okay. They have led Egypt astray in all she undertakes, like a drunkard straying about as he vomits. Nowadays no one does for Egypt what top and tail, palm and reed used to do. The conversion of Egypt. That day Egypt will be like women, trembling and terrified at the threatening hand of Yahweh Sabaoth when he raises it against her. What does that have to do with women? Because we're weaker, we can't quite defend ourselves in the way that a big old strong man can. So we're going to have to, you know what? Let's just keep reading. I'm getting more riled up on wanting to say, stop being crazy out there. Who wrote this down? Some crazy dude? Isaiah, were you really that crazy? To want us to believe that God actually had anything to do with this? With what you had to give out there? Is that it? Seriously? True Father said that the Bible is a textbook. A textbook doesn't always have the right answers in it. A textbook is there to be studied. Is it just to be studied so that you get really good at one thing? Or is it also to be studied to say, hey, wait a minute. There's something wrong with this. That textbook doesn't have everything right. And it is for us to find that out. Again, to do what? Go back to the Ur code. To the origin of ourselves, created in the image of God. Yes? All right. Calmed myself down now. Let's just keep reading the rest because obviously... okay. The land of Judah will become Egypt's shame. Whenever she is reminded of it, she will be terrified because of the plan which Yahweh Sabaoth has laid against her. God would never do anything against anyone in that way. That day in Egypt there will be 5 towns speaking the language of Canaan and pledging themselves to Yahweh Sabaoth. One of them will be called City of the Sun. There's another thing too. I have never in all my life, growing up religious with as a Catholic, then following, I didn't have anything for a few years where except for God is my guide, Jesus is my brother, okay? Stick with what is right and what is wrong. And then I found the Family Federation for World Peace. At that time it was a unification church with true parents. In all my life, through all of that, I was never coerced. It didn't matter what anybody had to say. If you don't do this, then you do. That would actually always put me on the alert and going, you don't get to say that to me. When it comes to my belief. I have not, in all my life, over 40 years now, within the Family Federation for World Peace, have I ever come across anyone that I believed to be true to follow or to listen to or to be there for, or them for me to be, that I was coerced or threatened into believing anything. And that was following True Mother, not some of the crazy sons, which will do that. They sound a lot like this. Okay, just saying. Okay. Feel very bad for True Mother to have sons like that, but so be it. That day there will be an altar dedicated to Yahweh, and so I do not believe that God would ever do anything like this. God does not threaten the people into believing in the presence of God. I do not believe that. Not for a moment. That's not what a parent does. to Yahweh in the center of Egypt and close to the frontier a pillar dedicated to Yahweh. And this will be a sign and a witness to Yahweh Sabaoth in Egypt. Whatever. When they cry to Yahweh for help because of oppressors, he will send them a savior and leader to deliver them. Yahweh will reveal himself to Egypt, and the Egyptians will acknowledge Yahweh that day and will offer sacrifices and cereal offerings and will make vows to Yahweh and perform them. You know who was the teacher in Egypt when it came to all that? Who guessed it? The one and only Joseph. Yes? Yeah. And why? And how did he do it? And then on how the Egyptians actually realized, wow, we were just saved, basically. And he was able to save his own people, Joseph was, by someone who had great faith in whom. That's how it happened. Not like this. Oh, we know the truth, and the truth is here in the Bible. And why do we have this in here as well? Who was so unhappy and then spreads this kind of crap due to the fact that it took one person accepting God's guidance, and then this great change happened peacefully. Who would not like that? What types of people would not like that? Oh, well then. And if Yahweh strikes Egypt, having struck he will heal, and they will turn to Yahweh, who will hear their prayers and heal them. You know, this is another thing where, so you're going to hurt someone, but then if they do what you want them to do, you're going to heal them. Don't you think those people would be constantly afraid that you will hurt them again? What did I start out with in the beginning with relationships? That there's no trust. How could people trust a God like that? Would you? I'm saying that God, that's a false God that they're portraying here. That is not our heavenly parent. That is not Yahweh, our God, our only God. That day there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria. Assyria will have access to Egypt, and Egypt have access to Assyria. Egypt will serve with Assyria. That day Israel will make a third with Egypt and Assyria, a blessing at the center of the world. And Yahweh Sabaoth will bless them in the words, "Blessed be my people, Egypt, Assyria, my creation, and Israel, my heritage." And again, how did that come to be? I guess it kind of came to be. I don't know. I'd have to go and read up on. This is a kind of an interesting little part here. Do I believe that it happened in a way that it is described? No, I do not. Because again, how can you trust a God like that? You're just going to wait, well, if any little thing that I do. But that's not our heavenly parent. That is not how a good parent, a good responsible parent works. But you know who works like that? Which parents? Crazy ones. People who are not in a relationship and have children to actually really take responsibility according to whom they are as a parent or a spouse. They like the idea. But when it comes to executing the idea properly, they're going to find any excuse, being crazy, to not do it. It's too hard, too difficult. And they stay temper tantrum children of between 1.5 and 2 years old all their lives. And I feel sorry for anyone who ends up with someone like that, because you will be carrying all the responsibility. You will be the one making all the decisions. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice if people would have labels on them? Crazy people, crazy person. Don't marry that one. They need to stay bachelors, bachelorettes for the rest of their lives. Do whatever they want, but do not. Right? Would be nice, right? Having said all that, it doesn't work that way either, does it? So we have to be very careful out there with whom we have relations with. Know them well enough. Yes? To finish this up real quick, there was a little post where the boyfriend brings home the girlfriend to his house. He walks in and there's a big old mess everywhere, this and that, oh, okay. So the boyfriend didn't even care to clean up, to hide it. If they don't hide it, they're so sure of themselves, of you, of who you are to them, and how you love them, man or woman. You walk into a place like that, what you should do is say, great, that's all I needed to see. I think I'm going to take my heart, though it loves you, home, cure it of that love, and find someone that I actually will be able to live with. Yes? Love is so strong, yet when it comes to our conscience, when you think, my children will be living in that someday, because it's either that or I will be doing all the work. You need to think a little farther than just past your nose when it comes to love. Yes? Yeah, we all do. We all need to. The ones of us who already made these mistakes, well, then we have to figure out a way to restore it. Yeah, well, again, that's also mostly on us. Yes? We keep trying. We don't give up. That is how we atone for some of our bad decisions as well. Yes? As the good people. Just saying. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you and guide you and embrace you with love. Elders, my dearest brother, I love you. I got to make this fast, and I will talk to you all another time.